Amazon's been going up for over 20 years. Bitcoin's been going up for 13 years. Well, 11 years, really. Let's call it 10 years because its price started at the end of 2011. So 2012 is really 10 years. So Amazon's been going up for 25 years, 20, 25 years. Apple, powerhouse, I own it from 1997. That's been going up for 48 years. Microsoft, I own it from $18, but also from 1994. But I put my traders in it at $18 much later. Uh, that's been going up for 50 years. So just like a short term oriented play that's up seven, eight, 9 bars in a row, what do you think? Where do you think we are before there's some serious problem? Are we at the beginning of the move before there's serious problem? After 48 years, after 50 years, after 24 years, are we just starting so a major problem is a long way? No. All right. Are we halfway there? So when you look at that Amazon chart, are we halfway before there's a serious problem? Probably not. We're closer to the end before there's some serious problem, right? But Bitcoin's at the beginning. So I say that just to be cautious that you can start to play the darlings in a big way too late. Like guys, there's no one in the world right now. There's no one in the entire world that doesn't know Amazon was a huge successful investment. What does that tell you? Bitcoin, there's 1.5% of the world believes it. 1.5% believe it. And it's up 480,000% with only 1.5% of the world in it. So think of this. Everyone in the world knows Amazon's good. 1.5% of the world knows Bitcoin's good. Everyone in the world knows Apple's a good investment. 1.5% of the world knows Bitcoin's a good investment. You have to be careful about becoming overly excited about something after the entire world knows. Do you understand? So I leave you with that thought. You know, I'm not saying that there can't be some decent opportunity still in an Apple, in a Microsoft, in an Amazon, but it's so much the obvious play now that I would not be focused there in the biggest way. I'd be focused in what's has the potential to be the next thing that is not quite as discovered already. Tell me you understand this. I'm not going to leave until I see your comments. Tell me you understand this. Tell me this makes sense. The rising Apple, the rising Microsoft, the rising Amazon is a direct reflection of the devaluation of the US dollar. So if you were to price, so when you're looking at a Microsoft chart go straight up, it's that's looking at the dollar going straight down. It's rising against the US dollar. Do you understand? And some people don't know how to separate the actual rise from just the debasement or the decline in the purchasing power of the US dollar. Do you understand? So this is so in a way, the devaluation of the purchasing power of the US dollar is why, in part, that assets like stocks are going up. Because in order to escape a sinking dollar, you get dollars and switch them where? To the stock market. Or you get dollars, melting ice cube, before it all melts, you switch it into something that's not melting as fast. Real estate. You get dollars, starts melting right away. Before it totally melts, you switch it into something that's not melting as fast. Bitcoin, gold, real estate, stocks, used to be bonds, not anymore. Do you understand? And so the very declining of the purchasing power of the dollar is what causes the switch from the dollar to these other things. That switch causes their prices to go up. So you're looking at the debasement of the US dollar when you see a rising Apple, a rising Amazon, a rising Microsoft. You're basically looking at the dollar chart in reverse. When you look at a chart of real estate prices going up, you're looking at the opposite chart of the dollar going down in purchasing power. All right? So we all know that the dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power since since 1913, the very year that the Federal Reserve came into existence. And quite interestingly, the birth of the US Federal Reserve Bank is the exact death of JP Morgan. How interesting is that? I studied JP Morgan, guys. I went down the deep rabbit hole with JP Morgan because he was so much of a financier and so much at the foundation of America's start as being in industrial power. And in essence, JP Morgan was the central bank and controlled virtually everything. And when he died, the same year he died, the Federal Reserve Bank came into existence. So what happened? The control that JP Morgan had was basically, I guess, these 5 entities felt like there's too much control centered into this one guy. Let's just break it up amongst 5 of us. All right. And these 5 powerful people, entities, got together to form the Federal Reserve, supposedly separate from the US. So there's nothing federal about the Federal Reserve. Okay. And there's nothing central about the central bank. It's not central at all, not centralized at all. And so that's really interesting. But it's interesting to note that the debasement of the US dollar began to accelerate from the year 1913, the very year the official Federal Reserve Bank came into existence. And you can look at the chart. It topped out in 1913, and it's been going down ever since. And so if you think, when you look at a Bitcoin chart that's going up like this and a dollar chart that's going down like this, if you believe the lie that it's safer to sock away in the dollar than it is Bitcoin, then I'm sorry, I don't even know how to help you because it's in your face. The Bitcoin chart is like this. The dollar chart is like that. And you think it's safer to go in the chart like that? I can't help you then.